What's up, Therapeutic family? My name is Mr. Therapeutic. Welcome to my first episode of Mind on Target. This is my very first video. Right? I'm super excited for all the subscribers who have been watching our shorts and hanging out and commenting in that world. But now I wanted to jump off the porch, so to speak, and finally do a long form video and talk a little bit and let you guys learn a little bit about me, some of my collection, and kick this thing off and let's just see how it goes. So first and foremost, just so you all know who I am Mr. Therapeutic that I go by, right? Don't forget the pew in therapeutic. And I give myself that name because I have a long history and my professional background is in the mental health field. I've been in the field now for almost 20 years. I say it often, the only thing I'm good at is helping people. And I started my career off way back, fresh out of college and working in the mental health space. And over the past 20 years, the only thing I've been able to really focus on and do is therapy and mental health and working with individuals in multiple different settings. I was fortunate enough to start my own private practice back in 2020 at the onset of the pandemic. And that's been going great for the past 6 years. But this past year, after getting into firearms, I noticed something. And I noticed how firearms slow my mind down. Unlike anything else, I'm also a former athlete, and the last time that I experienced my mind slowing down and getting as focused and being as mindful and being in the moment the way that I am with firearms was when I played sports. I actually played quarterback, and that was a time when time stood still, so to speak, and I felt in control. I felt focused, and as someone like myself who has been diagnosed with adult onset ADHD, firearms was a game changer for me. It gave me something to do. Number one, it gave me something to focus on, but it also allowed me to unlock different parts of my brain that I thought were dormant, like the responsibilities that it takes to handle and take care of firearms, the cleanliness that comes with it, the organization of keeping up with your items and ensuring that everything is safely stored, the mindfulness of carrying, which is going to be another video in the future, but the mindfulness of carrying a firearm every day and knowing that thing was on you helped me to be more present, be more aware, take more control of my environment, of my surroundings, take back control of my life. And I know this sounds crazy. I'm not saying that everybody should go out and buy a firearm that is going to fix you or anything like that. I don't want to hear all of that stuff in the comments. But what I am saying is that for an individual like myself who turned 40 this past year, this hobby, this introduction, my first year in the firearms, has transformed my life, my mindset, my outlook, my just overall self in this space of firearms. It's been a phenomenal journey. It started January 2025, early. And it was actually my wife who suggested that I get a hobby because she was tired of seeing me getting so burnt out and not really having anything other than work that kind of I could turn to. So she suggested that we both go to a concealed carry class, and the rest was history. Went to my first class. The trainer was unlike anything I had ever seen because, ironically enough, growing up, firearms were a negative part. We're always seen in this negative light, a negative connotation around firearms, from the movies, from family members and how they viewed them. No one in my family was a firearm owner, at least that I could see. We wasn't open. We weren't really hunters, even though we grew up in a country small town. So firearms weren't a thing that was in my life. So It wasn't my wife's. So my wife suggested it. We went and got certified. I think I was at the range the next day. I didn't own a gun, but I think I met their quota for rentals over the next month for the whole year, right? I was in there almost every day. Shout out to Safe Side Tactical for, jump starting my love for firearms. But I think I was in there every single day, trying something new, renting something different, getting over fears, learning as much as I could in a rental gun range, right? But that's when the love started to grow. And then, purpose of this video, I bought my first gun. Right? Couldn't tell me nothing. I thought you had to be an FBI agent or CIA to own a gun. I didn't know, the process, right? I was ignorant to it, all right? And I'm not ashamed to say it. I know there's a lot of you out there who are just new into firearms, which is my channel is primarily probably for, but also those of you who haven't fully got into it or thinking about it. I'm here for you, and I'll be totally honest and transparent about my journey. But I bought my first firearm, and needless to say, right, you can see behind me, and I got stuff, all over the place. But needless to say, I fell in love, and it's been a heck of a journey over the past year and a few months that I've gone from one to many, and we'll do a full collection video in the months to come. But today I want to talk about 3 of my handguns, right? I want to stay in the handguns today. I want to talk about my very first one, all right? My very first handgun purchase. I want to talk about my most recent, my last handgun purchase, the one I just bought within, I think it was 2 weeks ago. And then right now, my favorite handgun in my collection right now. So stay tuned. Looking forward to it. Let's make this thing happen. First things first, if you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share this video. Comment below on this channel. This is how I'm able to spread the word about all things mental health and the importance of it in the 2A community, because that's my ultimate goal. We're going to talk about firearms, but I'm ultimately here to ensure that mentally you're keeping your mind on target, you're focused on your goals, and you're continuing to do what you need to do while you're enjoying firearms responsibly and in a safe space. Suicide is leading cause of death over the past, X amount of years. I can't even count. It's been, numerous years that suicide has been one of the leading causes of death. And I want to put a stop to that, right? I've opened my private practice in unique ways and mixing different types of therapy with other things that may not go together. And that's what I'm open to, and what I want to do with firearms is, right? Like, I want to go where the people are, all right? I want to be where people who struggle silently may be, right? I'm not talking about you all who are openly struggling. And again, I'm not here to, say that mental health, or firearms takes the place of any real mental health treatment or support, or saying that if you have real a mental illness that firearms are going to fix it. No, none of that is the case. So please don't even come to me talking like that. I'm talking about the pure on coping strategies for everyday people who deal with life stressors day in and day out, who need something to help to relieve some of those stressors. Nothing would take the place of traditional therapy. And if you don't have a therapist, I highly recommend you to get one, because what other place can you find someone who it's their job to make sure that your dreams and your goals come true? That's their job. That's a part of what they're doing. You don't got to wait until everything falls apart to get a therapist. I know a lot of people I see in my practice, that's something that I tell them often, is like, you don't got to wait until the world falls apart for you that you go and seek help. No, everyone should have someone in their corner, a therapist, a mentor, a life coach, a skills coach, something that helps them along the journey. It's so wild to me that we'll go and we'll pay money for a shooting coach, we'll pay money for a trainer, workout trainer, we'll pay money for a chiropractor, we'll pay money for all these things, but we won't invest in the thing that runs everything on us, which is our mind and our brain and how we think and how we view the world around us. We want to invest in a therapist. So that's my monologue, so to speak, that you guys will hear day in and day out about the importance of mental health, but also that Mind on Target is not here to take the place of it. I am not here to provide any type of legal, mental advice or anything of that nature. I would love to, answer any questions that I can and support you on this journey. But at the end of the day, the best thing you can do is find a therapist for yourself. As I'm just here to talk about my experiences and how firearms has transformed my state of mind and my mental health for a positive. For the positive in a positive way. So if that can do that for anybody else, then heck yeah, we're on this thing together. But at the end of the day, your mental health matters, and I want you to know that. So without further ado, and if you like the shirt, please drop a comment below. We are doing pre-orders now, so if you would like Genie, God I Need You hoodie or t-shirt, please drop it in the comments and I will get you that link for you to be a part of the pre-order now and get a special Mind on Target discount for the first run of the Genie line here with God I Need You. So without further ado, what we're here for, the very, very first purchase. What do you think it is? Before I show you, drop it in the comments. If you guys have seen some of my other videos, you probably already know. But drop in the comments what you think it is. I'll give you a couple seconds to drop it. And without further ado, the very first purchase was that Sig Sauer P322 chambered in 22 LR. Yep, I was that guy, right? Before we move any further, we are in a safe, controlled environment. The gun is free and clear, as you can see. There's no ammo in or around the area. Everything is free and clear here for YouTube compliance. But my first gun was that Sig Sauer P322, right? It is chambered in 22 LR, as I said. This is my baby. So yeah, needless to say, I was that guy. I'm 6'1", about 235, 240 now. Back on my playing days, about 220, 225. And yeah, I was scared. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was scared, right? You guys can talk about me all you want to. I never grew up around guns. I never had firearms. So that first firearm, I was scared. I can't think of any other word. The loud bang of even 9mm back then. It's just so crazy to think how far I've come. But the 9mm, those bangs used to jolt me from time to time. So I went with what I was comfortable with. I knew I wanted to get into the firearms, and this baby caught my eye. Now I think I overpaid for it because I got the little the Sig Romeo. What is this? Romeo Zero Elite optic little package. I got the whole pack because I wanted the optic. I didn't know what it was back then. It came with a nice upgraded carrying case, all that stuff. But needless to say, this is my first girl, bro. It got the press check function where it can press check and just with one push without having to stop it. It has like 2 layers where you can press check here and then you can push it back past there. That was great because I was a big fan of John Wick at the time, so I just always knew how he was press checking, so that you could rack this slide super easy. And the thing about this 22 is that I could shoot it really well, really fast, very accurately, right? And that was my thing. I didn't care if it was a 22. I was going to shoot it, right? And at the time, yep, it had that thumb manual safety. Call it what you want, that ambi safety. I needed that. I was still scared of guns. I wasn't comfortable, and I wanted something that I could be comfortable because I wanted to start to carry. And this thing held a lot of rounds in this smaller package. And I felt confident that I could put all of those rounds in the spot that I needed to put it. And I felt confident that it wasn't going to go off with me not being comfortable wearing firearms. And I have a small child, and he was younger at the time, and he was jumping all over me, and I did not want anything to go bang when I didn't want it to go bang. But this 322, you know, I carried it for about 3.5 months, shot it fast. And think about 322. I know everybody's big now on that Taurus TX22 or whatnot, but this baby here is well made. The trigger is flat face, and at the time, and it's growing on me now, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I was so new, I'll be honest with you. I didn't like the little trigger safety thing that came on. It felt like an extra piece. It felt, I don't know, I just didn't like it at the time. I wasn't used to it. So I always thought triggers were supposed to be just flat. So that was what I liked, and my finger just could run this thing smooth. And the grip of this thing, right? Like, this is a full size grip in such a small light. It's like a glove. It's like fits like a glove in my hand. I just felt like I could, free and clear again, I just felt like I could maneuver this firearm wherever I wanted, and it just felt like a part of my hand early on. And I'll tell anybody who's just getting into firearms, the biggest thing you want to do is become comfortable, right? And this is what I was comfortable with. I didn't want to rush it. I didn't care what people thought. I could have worried less about what somebody thought. At the end of the day, stand in front of the 22 if you want to. But for me, it was also about, you know, the sport of it all. I wanted to be, you know, at the time it was just at the range, but I wanted to be good at the range. I wanted to be accurate. I wanted to be able to hit what I was shooting, and this thing allowed me to do that. So this was my first baby. Mentally, something about shooting the 22. I'm gonna do, you know, more videos over time that just talks about the therapeutic effects of shooting different calibers of different firearms. But shooting 22 is, I mean, needless to say, it's just fun. It's just fun. That was one of the reasons why I also loved firearms and got so deep into watching YouTube videos, because it was guys like What the Kicks and Colin Noir, who, you know, and Pew View, who were grown men talking about how fun something was and how happy, and they were smiling more than I had ever seen men smile. So that's what also drew me into the firearm world. And I was like, whoa, look at all these dudes smiling. Like, you know, it was just a wonderful thing to see, because men, we need a space where we could be happy. And I never thought you would get that many smiles from firearms. So needless to say, that's what 22 does for you. It's just a fun, something fun to shoot. I hate the word, but it's just a plinker, right? This thing, especially early on, I would just go to the range, and it was cheap, right? You know, it's only been a year, and my taste, and even my, that's another video I want to get into in the future. But even the, I can't even say, but my money changed, because my value of it changed with how I valued and as I viewed firearms. So needless to say, back then it was super cheap to shoot 22. I could shoot 22 all day. I could go and spend, you know, $50 and buy, like, shoot, almost 500 rounds, if not more than that. I could buy 500 rounds of 22 and be at the range for a couple hours and just shoot fast and shoot accurate. And that's what I loved about it. And this was something that I just fell in love with. I carried it often, and I enjoyed it. 22 has been good to me. I've since kind of just use it as a range tool. I'm never getting rid of this. You know, they say never get rid of your first gun. I've traded a few guns along the journey, but this 22, now mind you, she is a little bougie when it comes to ammo. She only likes that CCI mini mags, but other than that, she shoots great. She shoots straight. She shoots accurate. She shoots fast. Man, one day I'm gonna, suppress her because it comes with, suppressor ready. Suppressor, because everybody says how fun that is, how much fun that is. So this thing here is my first baby. All right. Next up is, what was my last purchase? My most recent handgun purchase. My most recent handgun purchase. This handgun, I went back and forth about getting it. Something that has really, fueled a lot of my purchases over the past years, not just research on YouTube, but also, when there's something that I feel like I want, and then I see it go on a crazy sale. That's another thing. I did not know that before I ever got into guns, that guns would go on sale and you could have a sale in firearms. That blew my mind. You guys may think that's simple, but to think that a gun can go on sale, that thing blew my mind. So this particular one, I had wanted, I had eyeballed it, but I just couldn't justify paying the price that I saw it at the time. And then it went almost 50% off sale. Then they had all these rebates, and I was able to get it for essentially 399 jelly beans. This was almost 1,000 jelly bean gun, and we were able to get it for 3, 4 and some change jelly beans, man. But none other than that Beretta 92 XI, chambered in 9mm, free, clear, right? No ammo in the area. This is that single action only, that, what do they call it? DCU Cerakote. It came out the box like this. Apparently Beretta had a collaboration with a veteran company who does Cerakote, and they were able to Cerakote a batch of these, and I was able to get one of them. First that caught my eye was just the color, right? And then I knew Beretta is one of the most reliable handguns, from military use. And I wanted something in my collection because, those who don't know, I live in Virginia, and we're about to change our laws here July 1st, where you're not going to be able to buy any more quote unquote assault rifles or assault weapons anymore. So a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be showing you guys is the last time here I'll be able to freely purchase it here in Virginia. So I knew I wanted something that would last, right? And not to be dramatic, but if this was some of my last guns I would ever buy, I wanted something that was reliable, that had stood the test of time, and that's why I wanted the Beretta. So, and then for the price, right? I saw it, I had looked at it, I thought about putting it on layaway at my local gun shop, which is another thing in the firearm world. Bro, Walmart don't even got layaway. And you could put guns on layaway. That thing blew my mind. Boy, I said, what? And it wasn't even like taboo or shunned upon. It was like you weren't looked at like you were broke or nothing. It was like, yeah, go ahead and put it on layaway. What? And early on, I remember putting things on layaway is really what, helped my wife not get too bent out of shape about me buying, that itch kind of came on, and me buying so many so quickly, I just throw them on layaway. But that's a whole nother thing, right? Layaway, like, who would have knew? So the Beretta 92, man, I've taken to a range a few times. Like I said, she's brand new. Haven't shot her as much as I wanted to. Still want to get, optic plate. I probably would have waited to buy this. Well, no, I couldn't have, because that deal was out of this world for the price. But I haven't shot her a lot. I just wanted her. There's a lot of things I want to do with her. I want to get that TLR1, that FDE TLR. I want to get an FDE, some type of red dot for her, but a single action only trigger. And I didn't dry fire or test the trigger on 22 because they say you're not supposed to. I've never dry fired that one just to be on the safe side. But this trigger here, I mean, it's decent. It's let's see, it says single action only, but it got a lot of take up, it seems like. And that's the wall there. Just now getting to the wall. Brakes. She come back out. Reset is great though. Reset on this thing is great. You'll find yourself overextending with the reset being so quick that you won't realize it's that quick. But again, this is one that I'm going to do some things to. I think I want to eventually get into competition and maybe use this, but this is something that I wanted. Still working on closing that one eye. I got some work to do on that. But this is something that I wanted as soon as I saw it. You know, I don't want to give away some other guns I had purchased, but I bought some other handguns that were outside of the normal polymer range, and I fell in love with those. But I was like, I want something that's not that, but also not full polymer. And this serves that purpose, man. This one is 15 round mags, so this one can also be carried in the future after July 1st here. So that was very appealing. But yeah, that Beretta 92 XI, you know, I'll do a full review and therapeutic rating on her later. But that thing now, but to think, to go from this 22 as my first to this Beretta 92 XI as my most recent handgun is wild. And this is within a year, right? You guys may not think as much, but you know, definitely. And I appreciate, shout out to all, you know, Honest Outlaw, Pew View, of course, What the Kids, Colin Noir, and then all of you all, not even the big name people, just, you know, all of you guys in the YouTube community, because YouTube University, right? I went and I just learned, and I consumed hours upon hours of videos. And I consumed so many videos that I just knew I had to make my own. So that's where this came from. I had to start to do my own videos. I don't know where this thing is going to go, but I had to start because I enjoy these so much. They take up so much of my time and my money and my energy that I said I want to be able to talk to the people, and I want to be able to merge the worlds of mental health into firearms. And this thing is great. I'm looking forward to doing a lot with her, but right now she's completely bone stock. I'm going to do a lot to her. But yeah, from first to last. And what is my favorite handgun in my collection? I got so many more now. Like, needless to say, I went from that one within now, sheesh, 12, 13, like 15 months. I think I went from one to a lot. But the very next gun I'm gonna show you is my favorite handgun currently, and I'm so thankful to have it, because it's like, oh, I think I was showing you guys already, but I think it's like, you know, I looked at it and I got to shoot with my boy Miles J. If you haven't checked out his channel, check out his channel, Miles J Tucker 92, man. Check him out on YouTube. He's a local hero here where I'm from, and we did a range day, and he let me shoot his and I fell in love instantly. All right, I had been wanting it. Let's just say what it is first. It is that Mac 9 DS, free, clear, nothing in the chamber. Let's show clear. Mac 9 DS, 4 1/4 with that quarter, that comp boy on that thing, comp port, whatever you want to call it. This thing here, is phenomenal, man. So I got to shoot his, and his actually didn't have the comp on it, and I still loved it. And I was like, man. And what's crazy is I had bought another 2011 that I was shooting with him that day, ever before shooting his Mac, and I fell in love with the Mac more than that one that I had bought at the time. Still working on that one, but the Mac instantly, I had to have it. And something about, you guys know this, or if you don't know it, you're gonna learn it. In the gun world, if it's something you want, you're gonna find a way to get it, and that's how it was for me. And needless to say, I think it's Palmetto State was doing a crazy sale on these randomly. I guess they were just trying to get rid of them, and I was able to snag me one. And I'm telling you, this thing out the box, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it. And again, this is just a budget. This thing is less than 1,000 jelly beans for the one I got. Less than 800 jelly beans for the one I got. And when I tell you, the thing has ran flawless out of the box, no issues, no hiccups. Haven't had one malfunction. We had one because I was playing around with these 10-round mags, because like I said, this stuff coming up July 1st, so I ordered these, just one 10-round mag. See how I ran, and it just wouldn't feed well. But outside of that, with the regular mags in, even a Prodigy mag I tried, this thing has ran flawless. She is flat, and I haven't done it outside of that Gideon optic, my TLR, my Bron clone TLR, which I love, right? Like, shout out to Harbor Freight, $55. They're going up in price a little bit, but $55, you can't beat it for what I do, man. This is all I need. It's held up well. I got them on a few of my handgun setups, and this thing does its job. It's bright. It's Zach clone. It fits all the TLR1 holsters. It's great, but I haven't changed the internals. I know some people change out the trigger and all that stuff, which I think I'll eventually do. But as of right now, she is a beauty, man. I'm gonna maybe add some grip tape, of course, because if you can hear that, very, very slick on that girl. But she has been great. A little bit of a hiccup, not as smooth as one of my other 2011s. I only got two, but for my first double stack 1911, I love shooting it. This is my favorite handgun in my arsenal, like just to run. I'm talking about, I go to some ranges around here who got the range speed, which I don't understand. Somebody drop in the comments why. I guess technically know why, so I guess it's a stupid question. But why can't I shoot fast? It's my gun. Like, let me shoot the gun fast, but I get it. But tell me in the comments, really, why is it that we can't shoot fast at the gun range? But with this thing, I've gotten, told by the SRA, slow down. The SRO told me slow down, I'm going too fast. I can double tap with this thing. And this is with the stock trigger. Let's hear that trigger. Kind of a heavy pull. Reset is great, right back on it. You can feel that active reset when you're shooting, so you're right back on it, right back in it. That thing is, man, and you can change the lengths of it comes in a box with different lengths of trigger shoes, so you can make it longer or shorter depending on your pull. So I might mess around with that later, but I really haven't had to touch this thing. Like no play that very much. Like, I know they say that the optic plates, I guess I just got lucky. It's a good one, but so far I've shot this thing. I probably got 750 rounds through it. And a lot of these handguns I got recently have all been like back to back within a few weeks of each other just because of these new laws changing before July 1st. So I've been having to get it in, and hopefully, you know, I don't get flagged for how many handguns I'm buying. But this is my favorite handgun in my collection right now. So far, this is my baby, man. This is that Mac 9 DS comp. This thing, she's a beauty. She's a beauty. And I'm telling you, there's nothing like a 2011. You know, I've rented some in the past, but it is true what they say. As a newer gun owner who, you know, my first handgun was like 500 jelly beans or so. To the Beretta being, like I said, got a crazy sale for like 400 jelly beans. To this, nothing's like it, right? Like, you know, I was all with just going with, you know, polymer framed. Thought 2011s were way out, you know, double stack 19. I'm gonna get a staccato one day. I know it's just a name, but I want that GTO. I want a staccato. If I can. I don't know how I'm ever going to get them, and I'm not spending that money before July 1st. Unless channel blows up, you guys buy these sweatshirts, you know, comment below the Genie. Just comment Genie below, and I'll get you that link for the God I Need You brand, so you guys can be a part of that pre-ordering and grab yours. But unless you guys buy up a whole bunch of stuff, probably not going to be able to grab that before July 1st. Like today is what, May 16th or something like that, May 18th. So probably not going to be able to grab that thing before July 1st. But I've looked at those, but for the budget side of things, not even budget. My wife told me stop calling it budget because this it's not cheap. This thing is priced right. I think it's the value for the money is great. But again, to go from, I was saying nothing shoots like it. It is so true. You shoot you a 2011, you try to go back to your polymer handguns, and it's just different. All right, this thing is the weight of it, the feel of it. It feels like a gun, right? This thing feels like a gun. It's such a big, just great feeling handgun, and it's hard once you go Mac. Ain't no going back, right? Ain't no going back. You stuck. It's gonna be hard to go back to your other ones. And I bought some other things in between time, which we'll talk about later. But tell me what you think about my list. Right, I got my first Sig P322 chambered in 22 LR. All right, I got my most recent, that Beretta 92 XI single action only DCU Cerakote. And I got my favorite, a Mac 9 DS comp 4 1/4 chambered in 9mm. That's my joint. So I appreciate y'all. Please like, subscribe, share this video, comment below. I want to hear from you. This is my first video. I don't know where this thing is going, but I'm going to show up just because everything about firearms have been therapeutic for me. That's why I'm calling myself Mr. Therapeutic, man. I'm here for y'all. I'm here for the 2A community. I'm here to make a splash on the scene, and ultimately, hopefully help you all to really get the most of being in the moment and being mindful and utilizing firearms responsibly as a coping strategy for everyday stressors. As men, as women, as just leaders in our community, as protectors, as survivors, as overcomers, we deal with a lot on a day in and day out basis. So it's super important that while we're managing and you know, utilizing these firearms in a responsible way, that we don't just get better at firearms, but we get better at our thinking. We get better at our lives, right? We don't just become great shooters. We become great listeners, great communicators, right? Great problem solvers, right? We become great husbands, great fathers, great leaders, great moms, great parents, great on a day in day out basis. But that starts with first thinking as great as possible and thinking the best of yourself. And if you don't, that's where it's super important that you get the support that you need. Please, if you're ever feeling the need to harm yourself or harm someone else, please dial 988. That is the National Crisis Hotline for mental health. Get some support. Call in. You're not alone. And I'm here to grow and to be alongside you and answer your questions. We're going to go live here soon and be able to do some giveaways. But this has been, I can't believe it. I just finished up my first. And I'm posting this joint raw. So if you made it to the end, thank you. Right, I'm going to get better. I promise. I promise I'm going to get better. I'm down in my basement, my makeshift gun wall behind me that I kind of made up. Man, this thing has been fun, and I'm excited. Y'all can comment, talk junk, whatever you want to do, but firearms have been phenomenal and a great addition to my life, man. And I can't believe I just finished my first video. I love you all. Keep going. Comment. Remember, comment Genie below as well if you would like to be a part of the first run pre-orders. We're only going to release so many, so please comment below so I can get that link to you, and continue to keep your mind on target, focus on the moment, and be yourself. We out.